Hi there, do you like Naruto? Yeah, I love Naruto. Do you like Yu Yu Hakusho? Yeah, I love Yu Yu Hakusho. Then I've got a show for you. Hey, what's up anime fans? Welcome to my dark room. I'm Jamin and welcome to Review Week on my channel when I'm doing reviews, obviously. It's so funny to me that 25, however long ago Yu Yu Hakusho came out, they just stole spirits right from the get-go. You know what I mean? Like spirit energy, fighting spirits. You can't say that now. For whatever reason, that you have cursed energy and you're fighting curses. Okay. Is there going to be one of these shows coming in the next 10 years is going to have ghosts? We're going to be fighting ghosts, and there'll be demons or whatever, but they won't be demons because it's not Demon Slayer. It won't be spirits because it's not Yu Yu Hakusho. It's not curses because it's not Jujutsu Kaisen. It's ghosts. And we have ghost energy. We're going to fight them. You harness your ghost energy. It's just funny to me that this happens. I mean, it works. Curses. They explain it well. I can't fault them for that. And so I'm going to talk to you about Jujutsu Kaisen right now. And I know that you're probably mad at me for the title, but please just hear me out, okay? So I do really like this show. I think it's really good. Not great. Really good, but not great. And obviously that's just my opinion. And let me tell you why I don't think it's great. And it's probably for stupid, dumb reasons. But to me, I think they're good reasons. So I'm going to start off with all the really good stuff first. Here we go. Characters. Really good. Love the characters in this show. They're all great. Downside of that, I have the list of characters in front of me because I can't fucking remember all the characters in this goddamn show. And forgive me for pronunciation of all of this because obviously I remember the how they said it in the show. That's how I'm going to try to say it, but I don't remember and I'm reading it off of this. So I'm going to just tackle the stuff I really like and the characters I really like. So I'm just going to go over some of them. Not all of them, of course, just the ones that I really like. Okay, so first of all, of course, we have to talk about Yuji Itadori. And I know Yuji, but his name keeps escaping me. I'm looking at the name and I'm like, yeah, that's his name, but I don't really remember that being his name. I just know him as like, oh, it's pink hair guy. It's main character guy. For whatever reason, it's just like a forgettable name in my brain. The show moves so fast. The show goes fast, you guys. But of course, he's just an OP character. He's like, and I love OP characters. He's the fastest, strongest guy this high school, almost in all of, Japan. And without any cursed energy or anything, he's just a beast. And I'm like, yes, awesome. I love that. But he's also like a nice guy, a cool guy. He kind of easygoing. He's funny. But he has his grandpa in the hospital. And there's a good little dialogue there about, his death and his, purpose of living. Should he, you're strong, save people, do your best you can. It's a good motivation for him to, start his journey. Fushiguro has one of the best moments of the whole show. And of course we'll get into that later, like domain expansion. It's fucking awesome. That's another positive of the show. That's a super cool aspect. Love him as a character. I made the Naruto joke earlier. It's kind of like we have Naruto, he has Yuji, he has the demon in him, the curse inside of him. Okay, and can unleash his power. Yusuke, you got Fushiguro is kind of the Yusuke type character, except he's just better than Sasuke, like, as a character. I don't know about, Sasuke has his place, right? Tortured soul, all that kind of thing. But Fushiguro he's kind of the Sasuke type, but he's more fun, more lighthearted, but still serious. And then, of course, you have Nobara. I wouldn't say she is the Sakura type, because, she actually is useful. Got her, but she's fun too. She has her power is cool. She's intense. Just a fun character. Useful, which is good, And with this show doesn't overly sexualize anybody. She never has any booty shots or big titty shots or anything like that. There's only one moment in the show where it was pretty sexualized. It was the first episode. Whenever that demon's is about to grab that girl's chest, and it looks all seductive, and I was like, oh my. But But throughout the rest of the show, none of that happens, which is cool, you know? About action. Where are the action people in the show? Alright, who else? Gojo, of course. Satori. Is that how you say his name? There's another Satori from another show, but I don't know. Gojo is funny to say. Is that how you said his name? I don't know. But of course, true OP character, Sensei, and just wrecks shit, has this beautiful eyes. Why would he ever cover those eyes up, you know? Fun character. Him and Yuji, they steal every scene they're in together. They're just great. It's a great. Of course, we got Sukana, whatever, the cursed finger man, Demon Fox. He's great. All the stuff that, you know, Yuji and him have their conversations. They go inside of his little domain and one point, and they have their back and forth. All that stuff's great. Good character. But, like, going into the negatives, just a spoiler for the negatives. Why didn't we see him more? I want to see more of the cursed god guy. And of course, almost the absolute show stealer, we have Todo. I fucking love Todo. He's awesome. You know, all the big, dumb, tough guy in the show is usually not the strongest character. Usually it's, you know, he's one of the henchmen to, like, the dark-haired, skinny one. Like, Kamo Noritashi is the skinny, dark-haired guy who seems like, oh, he's the real badass you have to watch out for. It's not the big muscle head jock guy. He's just he's strong, but he's not the strongest. But nope, they said, no, fuck it. The big strong jock guy is the strongest guy. And I love that. It's cool. And of course, him and Yuji, they have the fight of the show. That's fucking awesome. The best friendo, I fucking love that. It's so great. Then you have all your other students. They're good, and they have their moments, and they work well together as a group. Just none of them more stand out to me than the other ones. The special grade curses, those guys are cool. They each have their little perk, their little thing that makes them stand out. But none of them were, like, amazing to me, that were the greatest thing that stood out as, like, a character. But they were fun, and they had their purpose. Okay, second thing I like. Animation. And I'm not a guru. I'm not like a guy that knows great animation when I see it. I'm kind of a noob to animation stuff. I as long as it looks somewhat nice and pretty and smooth, I'm like, yeah, that's great animation. You know what I mean? So I'm not into all the small details of this is great, this is kind of wrong, blah, blah, blah. But to me, in my eyes, it's amazingly animated. There's great scenes with just, and bright colors and everything. It's awesome. Awesome to look at. And that really goes hand in hand with the third thing, fights. Man, if you want fights and stuff, there's some great shit in here. And that's the main thing I heard about the show, was like the fight scenes are impeccable. And for a while there was like, you know, started out strong. Then there's some parts where it's just like, well, there's episodes where there's not that much fighting. But then you get to other parts and it gets later in the show and then it's like, oh yeah, now we're having fights every show. Every episode, I mean. Amazing details and fights. Fourth thing, the world, the special abilities, that kind of thing is great. Domain expansion. Fucking great idea for like this type of show, to have like a shonen battle anime and to have like a new twist, like where they have domain expansion, which is this cool thing that curses can do, and I guess Jujutsu sorcerers can do when they're strong enough to expand their power over and make it like a little arena where they have full control of their spiritual power. Nope, not cursed power. My bad. No, don't sue me. But that was really neat. I love the how they can switch like to curses. Like, oh, there's bad energy in the world, and of course, bad energy emitted from humans creates bad things like curses. So it's not really a ghost necessarily, but it's a curse, and that works. I mean, yeah, of course. Okay. They all have their sorcerer power, which can manifest in different ways, and that's really freaking cool. Like, there's Togo has his clap or whatever, and I already said his name wrong because it's just hard for me to remember character names. The show goes so fast, guys. It goes so fast. We don't really have a lot of time to really get to know the characters and really memorize their names because they're jumping back and forth so fast. Hint for negatives. But they have their claps. Our first year girl has her nail straw power thing. That's awesome. And all the demons, curses, they have their cool powers. And it's really fun. And it's like inventive. Alright, here we go for the negatives. Brace yourselves. Alright, first up we'll go with something small. The music. Outside of the titles, the title sequences, no memorable music to me that I can remember. They worked fine in the moment of like listening to it and seeing the action, and it all seemed to flow well enough, but I was never feeling like this fucking song is pumping me the fuck up while this action's happening. You know, and that's something that My Hero Academia has, you know, like One Piece has, stuff like that. And there's other anime that just have these awesome soundtracks that you can really get into, but this one, just, I don't remember any of the music besides the titles, and the titles are good, but music, there's my thoughts. Second thing, character arcs, in a way. So first off, we start off with Yuji and his grandpa, and he has this thing of like his purpose. He's strong, he's fast, you know, protect people and all that, and that's like a motivation for him, and he thinks about it. And then immediately that doesn't go away necessarily, but it changes into, you know, don't kill. Or is it okay to kill people? Can I kill curses? You know, to protect others, can I kill one? And then it goes from that to, like, nothing. I mean, that's one thing that's lacking. I thought that was going to carry out throughout the show. And there's a character that we see at the end of the title screen, or the ending screens, with the long hair, and he's smiling, and Yuji's there with him. And I was like, oh, okay. When he's introduced, I was like, oh, that's the guy. All right, they're going to have like a friendship. And at first, he's under the influence of the curse, and then you think, oh, he's going to switch sides, and Yuji's going to be his friend, and he's going to, like, you know, help this guy. And this guy's mom dies, and then he dies as well. And I was like, oh, well, that's not going to happen, right? He's going to come back. Like, you can't kill this guy. He could be a part of the story and Yuji's development. Nope. Fucking dead. Doesn't come back. And I was like, it was a little shocking to me. I was like, oh my gosh. Wow. And it didn't have as big an impact on me the first time when it happened because I didn't think it was real. I thought the guy was going to come back to life, and he just never did. If I could go back and kind of put myself if I could make myself know that this guy is going to die at this time and it's going to be real, it would have felt a little bit more impactful to me. But it just didn't. And that's so weird that could happen. And that goes into like the third thing a little bit, is the rules of the show. You can basically they make this shit up as they go along. Nothing is set in stone. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! You play a card, and Yu-Gi automatically has a different card that makes that card doesn't work. And of course that happens in almost every anime. Naruto has that, what they do different jutsus and stuff like that. But and Naruto's so fucking long, though, that they have a lot of time to set up smaller instances of things happening and rules and, you know, certain types of jutsus and everything. In this world, we basically know nothing about it. We know what Yuji knows, and he barely knows anything. So literally anything can happen, and you can do anything, and anyone can come back to life. So that's what led into me thinking, oh, this guy's going to just come back to life. He's going to use reverse curse energy, or make up whatever you want, bullshit, to make him come back to life. I gave a positive for the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, because it's cool. But the rules of the world, they need to be fleshed out more, or they needed more time to really dig into all the fine points of what cursed energy can do, can't do, stuff like that. And it's frustrating because I love all the stuff. And you may think I'm being a stickler for this, and I kind of am, because at the end of the day, the show is just fun. And maybe they're just intending it to be fun, and they're not intending to have you worry about all this minutia, these small details of things that happen. But I do. It kind of takes me out of it when I can't really believe that anything can happen and anyone can do anything, and there's no rules of what they can do, what they can't do. I wish Yuji had more underlying problems that we could really understand, because it kind of jumps around. And they have a lot of dialogue talking about just like they have a lot of dialogue talking about like a lot of platitude type stuff where they're talking about death and life and truth and all this stuff that just kind of gets lost to me. And I don't know if it's like the translation or if it just doesn't matter, but there's a lot of like deep philosophical views that each character kind of tries to share with us of why they're fighting, why they try to live, why they try to protect people. and I can't hardly decipher what they're really trying to say or what they're really doing. Now, I'm probably dumb. I mean, I know I'm dumb and I'm an idiot, but can't they simplify it a little bit for me? I just want to know exactly what our characters are thinking and what their motivations is. Because Yuji's changes like every third episode. He has some kind of different motivation that he's going to fight for, or he's going to not kill, or he's going to protect people. And I just wish that was more fleshed out, more developed, because I want to have, I want to care about this character's dream and what they're trying to accomplish. And really, he's only trying to accomplish the goal of eating all of the fingers, and that'll help him get stronger and he can protect people, I guess. But I never felt that, super hard. I never felt the dream. I never felt Naruto's being Hokage. I never felt the Pirate King, and that's my opinion. And I could put it onto this show. I mean, maybe that's not what they're going for, but whatever. I can give it a score of whatever I want. Okay, now it seems like I was being really harsh on the show, and I was, but at the end of the day, I had fun with it, a lot of fun. And I think it's fun. I think the action's great. It's lighthearted. There's something in there. It's got a special charm to it, and I'm so excited for season 2. I would legitimately really invested in the show. The characters are so good, and that's what really saves it, is that I love the characters, the action. The other stuff, my complaints, they're whatever. They're not too hard. I don't feel so strongly about them. I know it sounded like I did, but I can let that pass if the show is fun and, it's actually going somewhere. And I feel like the show is going somewhere. I just wish it could be stretched a little bit. I wish these things had more time to develop. Because the show moves so fast. It seems like they're cramming a lot into the show. They could really have pulled it back and made some things last a little bit longer. Yuji's development is pretty quick. He's actually pretty strong. He's already passed, he had already passed Fushiguro, and he had already been a Jujutsu sorcerer for a long time. So, you could have taken your time a little bit more. But speeding it up and how fast everything moves does help the fun aspect of it and the fighting. But if this was more like a 100 episode, if they had 100 episodes and they covered this much stuff, they probably could have had more time to develop all the small things that I want. I guess I'm just more used to long form anime shows, even though I've watched a bunch of 24 episode season type things. I don't know what you call them, whatever you call those that aren't long running anime. They come out in a season or whatever. And I wanted to see Sukuna more. Why wasn't he in more of the show? I wanted to see him actually fight and do some stuff. Fight some of the other curses and take over Yuji's body more. And because he kind of disappears in the second half of the show. The first half is good. He shows up quite a bit and they talk to him and stuff. But I want to see him more. Have him more in season 2. You better, fuckers. Alright, y'all, that's it. This is a long enough video. That's my review. I'm going to give the show, even though I sounded harsh there at the end, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. So I still really, really enjoyed it. And I say it's good, but not great. Maybe I give it a 7.8, just to save face a little bit with the score. Because 8 out of 10 is probably in the great range, so maybe 7.8, 7.6, something like that. So more reviews coming so you can see what my taste is for certain things and what is actually great in my eyes and what's just good, Comment, subscribe, like, all that YouTube bullshit, and I'll see you later.